And we're live.
Back at it.
Live for us, anyway.
Live from the Music Period Podcast Studios in Los Angeles, California.
Wow.
Yeah.
We moved up quick.
Well, there was a lot of demand for us to come back, so we signed a deal. And we had to be close to our agents and our lawyers.
Oh, that's very true. It's tough to get anything done.
Right. Our last lawyers screwed our affairs so badly.
It really did.
Yeah, I walked into his office and I grabbed him by his big fat head and I said,
That's not what
man,
I thought you were going to say.
I'm not going to jail for you or anybody.
I mean, let's be honest. His job wasn't very easy.
No, dealing with us is kind of hard.
Some of the things that we would say and do.
You know,
that saltine challenge is really what put us over.
Don't get me started. Welcome to the Music Period Podcast.
I'm Dave.
And I'm Sam.
Yes, sir.
And this week,
we are doing
Legacy.
Sam's pick.
Legacy review, baby.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about a little album called Rumors.
Hell yeah.
A little band called Fleetwood Mac.
This is a great change of pace from the last one.
Yeah. I know.
It's a nice little palate cleanser.
I kept finding myself trying to listen to this one.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes. Instead of being like, God, I got to listen to this one again.
I know. It was like my parents being like, you have to finish your carrots before you leave the dinner table.
Exactly.
Except it was Megan the Stallion.
You can't eat your pudding if you don't have your meat.
That's what her rule is, too.
Well, this was your pick from me.
Yeah.
So I know you have a lot to say.
Right. Well, let me just start by saying I love this album.
It's amazing.
And the reason why I wanted to talk to you about this album was because there was that viral TikTok video of a guy named Dogface.
Okay.
Longboarding to work. His truck had broken down.
Right.
And he's just like carefree in the breeze, just listening, singing or lip singing along to Dreams. And so there was this huge kick up in a younger audience kind of.
That's awesome.
Right. And so at first, the like snob in me was like, what the fuck, man? Like, his fucking album's been out for so fucking long and fucking all of a sudden it's on a fucking TikTok video. Yeah. Fucking everyone thinks they like it.
Right.
And they don't even fucking like it like I do. And the way that I like it is the only way to like it. And I hate myself when I do that shit.
The record store guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so hard to shut that fucking voice up.
Yeah.
So.
But you realize.
Yeah. And I realized that maybe if there's just a little exposure to some pretty good music, maybe it'll change the course of pop music today.
Maybe.
You know, we influence the younger audience, and then all of a sudden the landscape starts to change.
Yeah. We could use a little more Fleetwood Mac.
Absolutely.
In the music biz right now.
Yeah. And I just, I want to lean into that.
Yeah.
And let people know that, hey, that song is great, but also the album's a fucking masterpiece. So go listen to it.
Yes.
It's
Rumors.
incredible.
Fleetwood Mac, the end.
This was their 10th album.
Yeah.
Isn't that fucking wild?
That's insane.
Yeah, I know. Crazy. 10th album.
Yeah.
And there's a whole lot of lead up to the making of the album that makes it kind of special too, which it's, we've talked about it at length. It feels like this album had to get made.
Yes.
Like it was already made.
I honestly feel like this album has existed since like the beginning of time.
Right.
And then this band just found it.
Right.
It just there's songs on there that I cannot imagine. Can't imagine music without these songs. Like they are Mount Rushmore of the music landscape. Like Dreams and The Chain. And you could just run down the playlist.
Dude, there's some songs on this. When I first heard it, I was like, I didn't even realize this was Fleetwood Mac. It's just a song.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just like you can't tell me who wrote like Green Sleeves, but you know it.
Right.
Like when I heard when I realized that Don't Stop.
Ooh.
Like
yeah.
That's just a song to me.
It's
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so weird.
This album is made up of songs, and this is a little out there. I don't really care. The wiki says it's their 11th studio.
Really?
Yeah. I'll go with you over wiki.
Yeah. Well, I challenge.
I thought it was 10 because I had read 10 earlier.
Or maybe it was after 10 albums they did this.
Okay.
Maybe that.
Yeah. So there are songs, and it's not just them. There are songs out there that I feel like the songs are around the artist, and they're chiseling the space away to find that song.
Yeah.
I'm not saying every good song is that, because there are songs where you gotta kind of create.
Gotta work.
You gotta do it. They're just so perfect and like just compact, like a stone.
Finely fucking tuned.
Right. That it's like a prize to. God, this sounds so choochie to say, but it's just that song was meant to be.
Yeah.
And it was just there for someone to find.
And God said, "Let there be light."
Something
but also
like that.
let there be rumors too.
Well, thanks for helping out.
And that was the quote from God, and it's in the Bible, and everyone should go read it. Yeah, I mean, I agree.
Yeah.
There's like a handful of these albums for me. There's pretty much the entire Electric Light Orchestra discography is like that for me.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because you're right. This thing, when you listen to it, it's so fucking, it feels like every piece was meant to go together. Mm-hmm. And the crazy thing, in my opinion, is they had to work so hard to get this thing done.
Yeah, and that, my comment isn't to say that like, oh, they just had to,
right.
It took work to find it. And like you just kind of touched on, every single moment of this album is perfect.
Yeah.
There's like a little moment in Dreams where the beat kind of like stops and there's like a brief moment of silence. But right before that, there's like a little distortion in whatever instrument that is that just feels like it shouldn't even be there, but I can't even imagine the song without it. And it's just little stuff like that. The sound of their voice at like one point in the bridge, you know what I mean? Like they just got it so perfect,
right?
That I cannot even imagine it being any other way. And that's why I think, God, that came with everybody. That came with this.
Right.
That came with this.
It's, most of the time when we talk about albums that are really well done or really well written, we talk about like how a hook or how a chorus or how a chord progression or a melody works in unison with another piece of the song. And I think one of the things that's really like magical about this album is, although those things on this album are great, just right next to that is like the small accents, like you're talking about, like those little moments in between the music.
Yes.
Or like there's this one track where you can hear clapping at weird parts in the song.
Yeah.
And that makes that song incredible to me for the same exact reasons that the lyrics and the music do.
Right.
It's these tiny little accents that just they bring this thing to an entirely new level.
Yeah.
Every single little piece. There was not a crumb missing.
No.
And there wasn't a crumb too much.
Right. Yes.
It's
exactly.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's so, and I mean, talk about a difference in production between the last review that we did and this one.
Oh my God.
I mean, this one, it's masterful.
Yeah.
And to record it, at the time to tape, you only have, you can't wear that tape out too much. You really got to kind of nail it the way that you do it. I read a story one time about Stevie Nicks was trying to get the vocals down for Dreams. The one that's on the album, the take, isn't even, that's like one of the first takes that she did.
Wow.
And then she tried to re-record the vocals for like a week and nothing was working the same way that first take did. Right. So they just kept that.
It's like, we got to use that one.
Right.
It's
crazy.
Authenticity.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it got pulled out and it got used and you can't use it again.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like, it's already been written.
Right.
You did what you were supposed to do. Stop trying.
Yeah. I was reading something. I can't remember the exact, but they couldn't get Songbird right.
Yep.
So they just brought her to some arena or something. They were just like, here.
Do it here.
Here you go. They gave her a piano. It's the other girl. The other one in it.
Yeah.
Not Stevie, but the other one.
Something like Christy McVie or something like that. Yeah.
And they gave her a piano. They put flowers on her piano.
Of course they did.
And they just showed a light. They shined a light down just on her flowers.
Because everything had to happen like that for it to happen
and then she sat down on the piano and started almost weeping. And then at that moment started the song.
And then she blacked out, and she came to when it was done, and she's like, "Are we ready to start?"
Yeah, Songbird. It might be the most beautiful song I've ever heard.
It's such a pretty piano composition.
Crazy. Yeah,
it's so pretty.
All I can picture is a dimly lit club with just, there's cigar smoke.
It's raw.
It's
fucking. It's not gritty. It's emotional.
And nobody in that place doesn't have their eyes on her.
Yeah.
Like you can't.
A
they're
pin
not even
could drop.
Meaning to. Right.
No one even knows that everybody is fucking fixated on her.
Like, it gives me
goosebumps.
Yeah.
Everybody's fixated on that. It's just one of those. It's enthralling. Mm-hmm. Absolutely captivating.
Yeah. And then I'm pretty sure the song right after that is The Chain.
Yeah.
And
talk about a fucking great song.
Oh my God. I know I'm skipping over songs. I apologize.
No, you're good, dude.
That song is perfect.
Yeah.
There isn't.
How many times could you say that about a song on this album?
Oh my God, you could do it. You could go down the track list.
Right.
But that song really hits me because it's almost the first time in the album where it gets a little angry.
Dude, this is crazy. We're fucking. My notes are. This is where the album starts to move into anger.
Yeah.
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 And it's like a great transitional point here because this album, it moves through the entire grieving process of a relationship.
Yep.
Seamlessly, without you even really having these moments. This is kind of a rare moment where you see it.
Yeah.
And the rest of the transitions on the album are very understated.
Yep.
And they're just kind of like core. You feel it. You don't hear it.
Right.
Which is impossible to manufacture. But yeah, that song is where they start to move into the anger aspect of the turmoil between all of the crazy fucking emotional shit that they were going through.
Because they're all breaking up, they're all hooking up, they're all.
I mean, just a little quick background on the story of this album. A lot of people call it the best breakup album of all time, and I totally agree. And you can't like force this kind of thing.
I can't even think of another one that I would put in the conversation.
Right. And there's songs here and there by, but like this thing is so perfect because the artistic process behind it was so unique and so like such a struggle and so trying.
Right.
The bass player and the keyboardist, they had been married the entire time that Fleetwood Mac was a band. They had kind of gotten together right at the start of the band.
Yeah.
Right before this album started, they decided to get divorced.
That's crazy.
Mick Fleetwood was married the entirety of the time together with somebody that wasn't in the band. But before this album had started and after their previous album, Stevie Nicks and Mick Fleetwood had started an affair. And by the time that they had started recording and writing the album, they had cut it off. They had stopped.
Okay.
But
so a breakup in a sense.
Right. So like they have this like emotional turmoil between them. But also after they cut it off, Mick Fleetwood finds out that his wife has been cheating on him.
What?
So he's getting heartbreak from both sides.
Wow.
He just told this incredible songstress that was pretty much placed into his life probably because of true love and God and fucking whatever. This whole thing is a fucking perfect package.
Right.
He decided to try and be a good person in a sense and cut that off because he was married.
Right.
And then she was like, it's almost like the whole thing was like, no, you need to be with this one.
Yeah.
Because she was fucking around too.
Crazy.
So turmoil all around. Heartbreak and emotion everywhere.
Let's make an album.
Now's the time let's get together and try and do something.
Wow.
The bass player and the keyboardist were only communicating on a professional level.
Okay.
It was so rough between them that they had kids and they still weren't even talking. Yeah. Crazy.
Wow.
And then they just decided to try and write and record their like 10th or 11th album. Like you couldn't just fucking say, hey, we're going to stop for a little while.
We're done.
Let's put the pedal to the metal. Let's really drive into this thing.
God.
So glad they did.
Thank God.
Because they captured that whole grieving process perfectly.
Yeah.
I mean, right from the get-go.
It might not even have been consciously.
No. And that's the beauty of it.
Right.
You can't manufacture it.
Right.
I'm sure they didn't sit down and go, let's write a breakup album.
Well, yeah, let's do a breakup album, and we'll do this song first, this one, and then this is where we'll make it angry.
Yep.
There's no way
put a
they
little
did
stank
that.
on it. Right
Yeah,
there.
right.
Yeah, that shit. It was just
maybe there was the planning of, okay, we got this beautiful songbird, let's contrast it with the chain, and something like that.
Yep, and I feel like a lot of that probably came from behind the scenes, and they didn't want to let them know that that's what they were doing because they didn't want to impede on the creative process.
Yep.
And like that's more of the beauty behind this thing is that like people around them probably saw what they were doing and didn't want to interfere.
Yeah.
Which is just, it's a good thing they didn't. Because this thing's a fucking masterpiece.
It's incredible. I'm so happy that you chose this one first.
Yep.
Because we're gonna do this a lot.
Yeah.
Clearly. And there are so many albums that you could have, told me to listen to.
Yep.
And so many of them could have been great, but this one. I mean, this is like upper echelon, to full circle it back around. This album was just meant to be.
Yeah.
I can't go listen to this album. If you have not heard this, go listen to this and try to imagine music existing at all without this album. It's
cool because you say meant to be.
Yeah.
And I agree. And
I don't talk like that very often.
And the cool thing is the whole music message behind this thing is that some things aren't meant to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy.
But it's like meant to be for us to know that.
It's like your grandmother trying to teach you a life lesson.
Yeah.
There's a point on the album, I can't remember what song it is exactly. Let me just say, Stevie Nicks, one of the best singers.
Oh my God.
She has this vibe about her. I was trying to take the mental image that was in my head and put it down on paper. And all I could come up with was she's like a good witch.
Yeah.
Like she's got witchy vibes, but it's like an angel witch.
Did you see the American Horror Story, Coven?
No.
Stevie Nicks shows up.
Really?
Yeah, she's in it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
She's like, angel witch.
Yeah.
And she's got these points on the song where she's like singing these words to you, where she's like trying to teach you a life lesson. And it almost sounds like a family member or a loved one from beyond the grave when you're in your lowest moment trying to remind you that like things are going to be okay. And it's beautiful and it's like transcendent. And then I was like, okay, those are great, but also she's a real person. And they're like towards the end of the album when they go through anger and they start moving more towards like the acceptance and moving on, she really starts to sound like a cooler female version of like Robert Plant.
Okay.
Where she's singing about these really ethereal, mythical kind of things, and she's all flowy.
Yeah.
And like it almost just like feels like it's, obviously it's all natural.
Yeah.
But like she's got the same kind of vibe as he did, where he was like, he didn't seem like he was ever forcing it.
Right.
Yeah. He just had this fucking magic essence about him that was so, he drew you in.
For sure.
And like even if you were just like a straight dude, you were like, I kind of want to kiss this guy on his lips. I don't understand. Oh, it's in Dreams where she says, women, they will come and they will go. When the rain washes you clean, you'll know. And when she sings that line, it sounds like a message from beyond the grave. It's fucking
or at least from
crazy.
somewhere else.
Right. Like some higher power just like putting that thing in your head. It's so good. I mean, the way the album starts out when Mick Fleetwood says, I know there's nothing to say. Someone has taken my place. When times go bad, when times get rough, won't you lay me down in the tall grass and let me do my stuff?
Let me do my stuff.
It's just fucking perfect. Like, way to set the tone.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of the last album that we listened to.
Oh, my God.
The way that you set the tone. Your first song on your album gives the listener a snapshot of what this journey is going to look like. And when you do it like that, it makes people want to listen to the entire thing. Yeah. It's fucking gorgeous.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So we've obviously been doing a lot of studying.
Yep.
Which is just listening to music. Like, I am so glad I never have to listen to Megan Thee Stallion again. But this,
Yeah.
I'll probably press play on it the second I get back in my car.
Yeah. This is one of those albums that I have 2 copies of it on vinyl.
Yeah.
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 Because I'll probably wear one of them out.
Mm-hmm.
And then that'll get passed down to my kids. And it'll do all the speaking and all the life lessons that I don't know how to say.
Exactly. Here, just listen to this.
Even in Go Your Own Way, Mick Fleetwood, once again, setting the tone. Loving you isn't the right thing to do. This is where like he starts to move into his anger kind of acceptance, right?
Yeah.
Loving you isn't the right thing to do. How can I ever change things that I feel? If I could, baby, I'd give you my world. How can I when you won't take it from me? This is like poetry.
Yeah.
Those lines don't rhyme.
Yeah,
it's
but
not
still,
hokey.
they still
it's not
go together.
You don't question it when you're listening to it. It just sounds
not
perfect.
At all. Yeah.
And I'm sure there's someone out there that's listening to this that like knows about, writing and English and can say, oh, he's using this format or whatever.
Yeah,
but like,
sure.
I don't think he was conscious of that when he was writing it.
He's just naturally that talented to where it just flowed out of him.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of the choruses on this thing, the image I get in my head, especially in Go Your Own Way, I just picture hordes of audience members like in the rain screaming along with it, like feeling that same fucking thing that he felt. And how crazy is thinking about them playing this live like that?
Oh my God.
Where the person that you love, that you wrote this shit about, is right fucking next
there.
to you.
You're singing it with her.
Mm-hmm. I don't even know how I would feel.
Yeah.
Like grateful that I got to live this moment and have other people relate with the emotion that I went through. Or I fucking hate you.
Yeah, right.
And I'm right back into that moment of when I wrote this shit.
Right.
And see all these people, they agree.
Or is it look what happened to us made happen?
Yeah.
And does it draw you closer?
Right.
Do you go look what we made?
I feel like the 2 of them specifically, Mick Fleetwood and Stevie Nicks, I feel like and this is like almost Buddhist in their restraint. I feel like they know that the 2 of them could have this magical thing together, but it's such a benefit to the entire world. And it's like, so it's temptation. It's ultimate temptation. Here's this thing and it's everything you want.
Right.
And on the surface and even kind of at the depths, it's a perfect match.
Right.
But look at what the separation between the 2 of you has created.
Yeah.
And this is the whole reason why this separation exists. And do you want to fuck that up?
Right.
And try it because it seems like it's perfect?
Yeah.
Or do you want to let this beautiful thing, even though it's tragic, just exist? Crazy.
Yeah.
I love it. I fucking love it.
It's weird because before we sat down to do this album is almost too good to put into words.
Yeah.
And I don't want this to be something like, oh, they're just going to go on and fucking jerk off to every single album they love. This one is just hard not to.
Yeah. Listen, I like to be critical.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to like that last album that we did.
So badly.
But it was kind of fun to also be critical of it once I realized I didn't.
For sure. Like, I can't think of a negative thing. I guess the only negative thing I can think of, and this is really digging, is track 3. It's a great song.
Which track is that? I have it written down. Never Going Back Again.
I just kept wanting more.
Yeah. I can hear that.
The only flaw was I wanted more.
Yep. Right. More. Yeah, like this dinner that I have in front of me, it's great and it's going to make me full enough.
Right.
But also, can you make it a mound, a heaping pile of more?
Can you just give me more of that?
Right.
Like it just felt like it was building up to something that never came.
Yeah.
Which
maybe that's a metaphor. Yeah. So it's one of my favorite songs on the album, kind of subconsciously, maybe because of that.
Yeah.
Where it's like,
and again, that was me digging, man.
Yeah.
That was me digging.
And I love finger style acoustic, and that song specifically has like elements of ragtime in the finger style. It's it's a very cool, complicated progression. So technically it's pleasing as well.
Right.
But I mean, the whole album's full of that.
Yeah.
It's full of these fucking beautifully written compositions. It's just The album speaks for itself.
Yeah.
We can sit here for
Yeah.
30 minutes and try and fucking explain
Go listen
but
to it. Download it on Spotify. Listen to that thing. Buy it.
Are you going through heartbreak? Do you kind of like that feeling? Because I know I have my moments where I enjoy the melancholy.
Embrace it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? And I don't know what that is, but this thing tends to lean into it for me.
Yeah.
And when I want to feel that way, I can fucking just click right back into those emotions because of this thing.
Yep.
Yeah. And then the last song on it, fucking the other bookend. Once again, talk about a great dichotomy from the last review that we did. It's the perfect closer.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like the last song when it starts. It sounds like the last act in a musical that you're seeing on stage.
Yeah.
It's the perfect send off. It lets you think about things, but like the whole tone of the lyrical content and even the vibe of the music is like, it's hopeful. It's like acceptance. And she ends it kind of saying she thinks she's ready to move on.
Yeah.
And then that's where it stops. It's not like, now here's a love song and it's like the story it ended on a happy love song.
Right. And everyone lived happily ever after.
It just goes, maybe there's good stuff too.
Yeah.
See ya.
This is just a moment
Yeah.
in history.
Uh-huh.
A moment in our history. A moment in my history.
Yep. Great.
It's beautiful. I just read that this year, and take this for what it's worth, these lists or whatever, but Rolling Stone rated it the 7th greatest album of all time.
Yeah. Seems fitting.
I mean, that's the type of album we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Where, like, it's
and you got to think
upper echelon
top
stuff.
5 are all like probably Blind Willie Johnson, like these very influential early recordings of shit.
Right.
This is a fucking pop band.
Yeah. Right. And it's their 11th album.
Uh-huh.
Like,
It's
what? such
such a fucking random spike on the chart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like you said. It seems like something else
Yeah.
is something else just went. But this thing,
Yeah.
bing,
Yeah. We need this to happen now.
Yeah.
This is where this is supposed to happen.
like an alarm went off and someone was like, "Oh shit!" So that,
Shit, they overslept.
yeah.
You know? Damn it, give it shit.
Yeah. Whew, close.
Yeah.
Got it in just in time.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Clutch.
Yes.
This album is
Ooh.
this is pizza, dude.
Yeah.
This album's fucking pizza.
Fuck yeah.
This album, so you know, like everybody knows pizza. We all know pizza.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
Yeah.
And like you have your favorite pizza from your favorite spot, right?
Yeah.
And like maybe that favorite spot is out of state. And like it's a treat. It's a nice memory.
Yeah.
And you long to go back and eat it again.
Right.
And it wasn't like the toppings.
Right.
And it's not the location of the pizza shop. It's the memory that you have with it. This thing is that memory.
Yeah.
It's the moment in time that you go back to.
Whoa.
It's not the pepperoni. It's not the cheese. It's not the red sauce. Pizza might not have even been that good. It might have broke your heart. Pizza can break your heart.
Maybe you got heartburn.
Hey, I get it all the time. This pizza is that memory. Whatever that pizza is,
Well.
whatever that moment is, whether it was like, you know, I was a kid and I went on vacation and we went to New York and I had my first fucking New York slice of pizza, dude. Or like the first girl I ever loved, we had this incredible date night where we made homemade pizza and like laughed and had a fucking incredible time. It's not the pizza, it's the fucking memory.
It's the moment
the
surrounding
moment.
the pizza.
Yes.
Well, that is actually quite beautiful.
Thank you.
You turn pizza into something kind of nice. Mine is not that. Mine, I don't even know if I want to follow that. Whatever. Two things.
Okay.
One is, remember how the pizza looked on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Uh-huh.
And it just looked perfect.
The most incredible
with
pizza.
like the stretched cheese.
Like the way pizza's supposed to look in your
Yes.
brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The perfect pizza.
Yeah.
The other thing I was saying or thinking was, it's just a pizza from your favorite pizza place.
Mm-hmm.
And it has the toppings you like, but it also has some veggies. You wouldn't normally get veggies,
Right.
but you put veggies on there. And you know what? It's because veggies are good for you.
Right.
And it's good for you.
They help you grow.
They help you grow.
They help you develop.
Your eyesight, your bones.
You're big and strong.
Yeah. They're good for you.
It's
healthy.
nutrient. Yeah, right.
Yes.
You need them.
Yes. Essential.
Vegetables are a learning experience.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Right.
You get what I'm trying to say,
do.
though?
Yeah. It's not what you want. It's what you need.
You know, there's a little bit of that there. But they taste so good. In this instance.
Well, after you get your taste of it, you're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I want now.
Right.
I didn't want.
Like, I didn't realize how much I liked a perfectly cooked green pepper on my pizza. You know?
Yep.
Or, boy, I don't really like onions, but when they're caramelized.
Wow. Ooh, it just hits a little
good.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a beautiful album.
It's beautiful pizza.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Well, I think that wraps up Ep 2.
Yep. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Hey,
honestly,
thanks for listening to it.
Yeah, I loved
Thanks
it.
for sharing in this moment with me. Now this moment becomes a memory pizza like the other ones.
Oh.
Would you look at that?
That's sweet.
Soon enough, we'll be fighting.
Oh, my God. I wonder if we're going to fight. Nah, we're not going to fight on this next one. We both love it.
Yeah, right. We got. Well, I mean, soon enough, I'm going to try and set you up.
Okay.
It'll be like an album I don't even like. And then when you're like, this thing's trash, I'll be like, you take that shit. That's offensive to my family, dude.
Yeah, we won't always agree.
No.
There's no way.
I hope not.
I know.
This thing will be real boring.
Right. All right.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Take it easy.
Like, share, send in requests.
Instagram.
Agree. Do you like the album? Do you not like the album? What's your favorite track?
Yeah, what's up with Rumors for You?
Yeah. Is there another album that is, in your opinion, more so?
One of the other 10?
Or is there a quintessential breakup song that you like?
Yep.
Let us know. I love that sad shit.
I'll listen to it.
Send me that sad boy shit. I'll fucking cry all over that motherfucker.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right.
Tell your friends. Have fun. See you next time.
Later.